Oh, here we go. Here we go. Here we go.
Here we go.
Here we go.
Here we go.
Here we go. Here we go.
Oh, here we
Here we
go.
go.
Oh, here we go.
Welcome back to the motherfucking podcast, guys.
Hi,
I'm Lacey.
I'm Stephanie.
And this is
Here we go. She got it this time. Wow. Okay.
Yeah, we back, baby.
Yeah. So we're trying to like educate ourselves in like the crypto NFT space. you
We're
know.
adapting, y'all, because
that's a good word for
the
it.
train is moving whether we're on it or not.
Oh, wow. That's a great way to
And-
put that.
Right. It's like the world's going to change whether you want it to change or not. So you might as
Wow.
well hop on.
Yeah. I still don't feel like I fully know everything because I'm just I'm
Yeah.
a visual learner, but this was cute today.
Well, it's also like, as far as crypto and NFTs, shit's expensive. And it's like, I just want to live.
I know. I
Like,
can't. I'm having a hard enough time in the physical world.
yeah.
So it's like, what? But yeah, we wanted to bring on originally this was supposed to be to bring on an NFT artist and learn more about that. But as we started researching him, there was actually way more levels to him than we were anticipating.
Yeah.
And yeah, we ended up talking about way more than I thought we were ever going to be able to talk about. Honestly, if we would have had relied on just the NFT topic, that would have been a totally different interview, and I love the way it
would.
went.
Yeah, I mean, hashtag feelings.
Yeah.
Like, we just like feelings too much to talk about
I'm
digital
not-
stuff.
I'm not good at small talk.
Mm-hmm.
And I actually, that's probably one of the things that has given me anxiety a lot of the times in social settings is if someone comes up to me and they know me and they want to talk, I am not able to have small talk with you. And then I'll end up talking about way too much personal things and way too much detail and kind of spilling it over into like, oh, you didn't really ask that. Like,
Yeah.
you didn't really need to know that. So this was one of those conversations where we got to dive in a little bit more, you know?
Yeah.
I went off on some tangents too.
Tangents. Yeah, I was lucky enough to meet Mac in LA back in October at this party through one of our mutual friends, Bobby, the Bearded Man podcast. I know Mac was also on that podcast, so hi Bobby if you're listening.
Oh my gosh.
But that was like one of those days where I wanted to make friends, like because I travel a lot here and there, and when I'm in LA, like I'm like, okay, like whether if I'm hanging out with my friends and cooking dinner, but there has been days where I'm like, I'm going out, I'm fucking socializing, I feel good, I look good, I'm fucking doing it.
Damn.
And so that day, like it was a day of saying yes. Like I went and hung out with this new girl, and then I ended up at Bobby's house, and he was like, come to this party, come to this other event. And I was like, okay. I was like, I want to have fun today. And I went to this party and I ended up meeting Mac there, and it was very brief. And then we connected on social media. And I know that having an NFT artist on the podcast was a topic that we have been interested in because we have always been like, what the fuck is it? Like, what is it?
We didn't get it.
Yeah. So I was like, oh, I actually just met someone. And so alignment happened, and
This
he
is why
came.
I said if we're going to have this podcast, you have to be a yes person because we're not going to find new guests or new topics or new ideas if we're just sitting at home. So I love that you did that.
Yeah.
You brought a guest on because usually it was my crazy ass going around Denver saying yes to everything and finding people to bring
Yeah.
on. So thank you for contributing to the cause.
Yeah.
It was great. Yeah.
No, I mean, this was a great conversation. I even said it in the episode, like his energy is very grounding. There's a calmness and a sturdiness. Like his presence is just so full. And I don't know, I like that.
Yeah.
And it was really cool to get to hear just, you know, someone's artist journey because they all look differently. And for someone to literally try photography, videography, like sound engineering, music, writing lyrics, writing poetry, painting, trying almost every avenue of like art expression just cause, like, what? Like, that's such a cool perspective to kind of hear about. So this was a good episode.
It's nice to meet somebody that's good at a lot of things.
Yeah.
So
It's like, what's it like to be perfect?
yeah, and it just like we discovered, art makes you have to be, if you're going to be an artist, then you have to be vulnerable in some way.
Yeah.
And I liked kind of having that realization today in this interview and many other things.
Yeah. Wow.
But
That was a good takeaway.
yeah, I mean, if any form of art, you have to be vulnerable with it.
You know, like,
And it makes me appreciate even art that I think is like, I'm like, that is not good, sis. But now I'm like, damn, you were being vulnerable. Cute. I'm sorry.
Yeah. No, yeah. Like, as artists, no matter what that word means to the individual, like, we're all given some kind of talent or gift for a reason. And that's how we best express and communicate some things. And it really, I mean, artistry makes you feel. It's another level of connection and vulnerability, and understanding yourself and the world. So, like, you know, as an artist, it is our duty to kind of like mirror these things back to the world, because it's not only like pretty to look at, but like tapping into your emotions and like inspiring someone to feel whatever they feel or whatever comes up is like truly something special.
Yeah. Also, I just want to tell you that your boobs look great and they've been popping out the whole day.
Oh.
I would look over it a little bit and be like, that was nice to see. I'm like, I don't know if she's doing this on purpose or what. I was like, I just want to give you a little compliment. Show it for the camera. There it is. But I would see like the part where it's coming out a little bit. I wouldn't see the bra, and I'm like, is her tit out? Who knows?
I know it does. Bras like don't fit me. Like
Feel me. They don't feel me.
Like bralettes and swimsuits. My boobs are always like just
Yeah, they are coming out a little bit.
muffin topping.
Okay, we're gonna get into the interview, guys. Thanks, and let us know what you think. And
On that note, here we go. And now for a quick commercial break, we want to introduce you one of our sponsors, which is Jimbo and Jules. Jimbo himself was actually on one of our podcasts, the CBD and Lyme disease, and he started Jimbo and Jules, which is a holistically sustainable wellness brand on a mission to help people and our planet heal. And months ago when he came on the podcast, he gave us his products, which we were able to use. And I literally am out. I ran out of product months ago of the CBD, and I started using it every morning and every night and started to notice a huge difference in inflammation as far as like my acne goes. But I will say the lip balm is my favorite. It has
every day.
The packaging is made out of paper. It's biodegradable. You can feel the smoothness on your lips. It's literally insane. Yeah. But what's your favorite product?
I love the lip balm, but I also love the Sleep Deep. And I don't typically have a problem going to sleep, but on the days that I do, this has been super helpful. And I know that recently they did a trial with like over 50 people, and I think over 95% of those people saw improvement in sleep in like 2 weeks or something like that. So if you guys want a better approach or a more holistic approach to going to bed at night, try them out. They're great. And if you want a little help in the little cart, you can just use our code for here we go 20 for 20% off your entire order.
Yeah, we got a little code for you.
Yeah, a little something. But yeah, and for the guy, I think we did this before, and a lot of you did use the code. So thank you guys. We love helping out Jimbo and Jules, and yeah, we just believe in what they're doing and think that you guys will too.
Yeah. Hope you guys enjoy. And without further ado, let's hop back into the episode.
Yeah.
Welcome back, guys.
Hello.
We have God. We have Mac on with us. Mac, I don't even know your last name.
Not a lot of people do. I was actually just talking about this the other day. I kind of like to keep it a little quiet.
Okay.
It's kind of cute. You're just Mac.
Well, I'm Maclin. That's my full name.
Okay.
So yeah, it's a family name. Been passed down for a while. And yeah, just want to do the Beyonce with it, I guess.
I actually really like that. Okay, well, wait. So tell us about you. I know I hate these questions, but
About me. Well, notoriously,
fly.
I'm known for not talking about myself. It's like one of my least favorite things to do. As of late, I've just found I'm not like really so interested in, I guess, being vulnerable. So even being here right now is kind of a departure from the mentality I've been in for the past, I don't know, maybe 6-7 months.
Oh,
Wow. But
wow.
we love the push.
Yeah. We
Yeah.
appreciate you.
I'm excited. It's good. It'll be good. A good test to see how flowy and how open I can be with. I mean, I kind of just met you guys. I met Lacey a while ago, but that was briefly
Right.
at a very weird party.
It was so weird. I don't know how I ended up there.
It was cool. I actually have one thing that like really stood out at that party that blew my mind. I don't know if you would have. There's no way you would have noticed unless I told you this. But 75% of the people at least had green eyes.
Oh.
Oh.
Like oddly, because you have green eyes.
Yeah, I do.
And that was like the first thing I noticed, but it was, I'm not even kidding, like actually kind of freaky. It felt like I was like in some sort of experiment or something.
Whoa.
And majority of the people had green eyes.
What a beautiful observation. I thought you were about to say that one of the things I noticed was how good Lacey was at cornhole.
She was really
my
good.
God, of course you would
She was really good.
anticipate that from him. That's what you told me about this party. And she, whenever we were talking about how she met you, she was like, and if I'm good at any sport, it's cornhole. And I was like, okay.
Surprisingly, that's the one thing I'm good at.
Yeah,
It's
she
a
won.
lie, but maybe that is one of the
We bonded over a rematch. I don't know when that's gonna happen. Do you have a
do.
setup here?
Well, not here, but in LA.
You didn't pack it with you? Take it on the plane?
Literally, I bought this for a friend's birthday, and I was like, "Oh my god, I'm gonna make like this whole like beach setup." And I bought the heaviest fuck ones, like the wooden ones that are supposed to stay stationary.
Yeah.
So we've hauled those heavy fucking ones to the beach like a couple times, but I have them, but they're in LA.
Okay. Good to know.
y'all
I gotta
can
make
do
another
that.
trip out there.
Oh wait, so you don't live there?
No, I'm currently living in Cleveland and
Oh.
grew up there. So it's
Okay.
kind of nice to be around home, around family.
Yeah.
Oh wow. When
Huh?
did you move over there?
Yeah.
Or move back there, I guess.
September 2020.
Okay.
Okay. Dang.
So kind of, the beginning of the downward, not the beginning, but the early middle of
Midway.
the downward spiral for everyone.
okay.
Yeah.
Damn.
Okay, well, first of all,
Go back to who
go
you
back
are.
to like what do you do? Because I think in our intro we've already said it, but I would like to hear it
Yeah.
out of your mouth.
Okay. Well, yeah, we briefly kind of touched on this. I don't know how to describe myself really these days. First and foremost, I always tell people I'm an artist. Definitely have worked the longest in the art field. So photography, videography, painting within the last 5-6 years, poetry for a long time, dabbled with music for a significant amount of time, and have been developing technologies and inventions and all these little things all along the way, just doing a little bit of everything.
Wow.
Wow.
What was your initial first art form? Like growing up, have you always been involved in the arts? And what was your first outlet?
First outlet. Well, I've definitely, I don't want to say like the arts. I would say more like digital media to start.
Okay.
I remember, I definitely remember this one. I was sitting in the back of the car with my friend Mary and Alex. And Mary had a camera and she took a whole bunch of pictures in a row of me and my friend Alex doing like robot movements. And then just on the camera, she flipped through and we made like a little stop motion video. And from
wow.
kind of that moment on, it kind of just captured my attention and like what I could do with a camera or some sort of video or some sort of photo. So from about 12 is when I really started getting behind the camera and then working with my longtime friend, Logan Paul, on some just stupid, horrible, awful young kid videos that were so much fun to make at the
Do
time.
you still have them?
Yeah, I have a few. He deleted all of them, like hard deleted all of them.
Oh damn.
Not all of them, some of them, but yeah, the majority are gone, and we definitely still have some. But
Oh, is he from Cleveland too?
yeah,
Oh, so you guys grew up together.
Mhm.
Oh, so it's like him and like, wow,
Me
like
and
they
you?
create together and we create together.
oh, did you guys grow up together?
Well, kind of.
Not really. I met her. I think you're 6 years older than me. I met her when I was 17, still in high school. I was getting into modeling, and I skipped school to work with the Stephanie Parsley.
Oh God. Okay.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
So that's how our friendship started, was through like creation.
Yeah, and then that's how it's
And
kept going.
just never stopped.
Yeah. So did you guys both move out to LA together?
No, definitely not. He moved out after the first year of college. I stayed, finished college, got a degree, and then after college, I guess I moved out here and then was just going back and forth between Denver and LA a bunch. That was kind of like my route.
Doing
And-
the photography, digital media. Okay, like what were the jobs that you were being given? Or
well, here I picked up a job with the Rockies, which was pretty cool. So that was like my first job ever.
Wow.
I got a degree in botany, and I'd always worked with the camera.
Oh my God, I
So-
immediately thought of Harry Potter. Anyway.
Exactly. My boss, one of my like coolest professors ever. I worked at a greenhouse. He literally was what's the from Harry Potter?
Oh fuck.
You know what I'm talking about. The botany
Yes,
professor.
yes,
Whatever his name is, I
yeah.
can't think. That was him. That was quite literally him. So shout out Jack Keegan. He's an incredible person. Definitely like got me interested in the wine world and wine industry.
Oh.
So that's kind of what I pursued in college, just going into the wine
Oh.
industry. I'm from a place
Smart.
that has like a rich history of wine outside of Cleveland, believe it or not.
That's
So-
what I was like, oh my gosh, I had no idea.
Mhm.
Okay.
So I was interested in that, and then I got a camera and applied for a job with MLB, got a job right away, and I was like,
Wow.
oh, cool, I'm just going to go do this. And then lived here for like 3 months, quit the job, and was like, screw it, I'm just going to go be a freelance photographer and do my thing. And then that's just led me to a very interesting life of travel and fun and depression and anxiety and art and release and expression, ups, downs, all the things.
Do you find, I feel like a lot of artists struggle with this, putting yourself out there is hard? Or
like
do
your
you-
work or
Yeah, both. I
Yeah.
mean, because if you want to sell your art, it's nice to be able to connect with people on both ways, with your art and with yourself. So I just always want to ask. I like to ask artists like if it's harder for you or not, or if that comes easier. But being surrounded by people in LA that put themselves out there all the time, like maybe you were able to learn how to do that. I don't know.
Yeah, I've definitely always struggled with perfectionism. I just never feel like what I've done is good enough because I'm comparing it to the greats. Like any video I ever shot, I was like, well, it's not The Godfather, so it doesn't like it's
Okay.
not good. And it, like looking back on that stuff, it had some merit, but I definitely see all the places I could always improve. So some stuff I'm really like very proud of. It only takes me like 3 to 6 months to appreciate it, and then I'll release that in time. Some stuff I do it, I'm like, oh, this is perfect right away. Let it go, release it. So it really just depends on what it is and how vulnerable I'm feeling at the time. And that definitely comes in highs and lows. And like I said, for like the past 6 months, my vulnerability has been at the lowest, which is crucial for being an artist. I mean, that's like, you have to be willing to put yourself on display. And yeah, just these days, I haven't been wanting to, but now I guess I'm back on the thing. I'm putting together all my old writing. So I'd like to release that and put it into a book. Is going to be just a little bit, it's a little nerve-wracking to put that out.
It's so vulnerable.
Yeah.
I have so many thoughts, but I attended this like 2-day acting workshop this past weekend, and we were talking about like having a career in the creative industry and the arts. And I realized like, there's so many forms of expression, and like art and painting, you can have like hidden codes, and it's to one's interpretation. Same with poetry and song lyrics and dancing. And for myself, I was like, oh, like, all of that is vulnerability. And when it comes to acting, like you can't really code that shit. Like how you can like weave things in to like a poem or something, like that's like straight up raw, direct to the point emotion. And I was like, it's crazy like how as an artist, it's almost like our duty to step up and like mirror back to the world like our feelings, and like we connect through feelings. So
It's like a requirement to be vulnerable.
yeah. Because we do it well. Like artists do it well, and like that it's made the world what it is. Like
Yeah.
and
And you're willing to.
yeah.
I think that's the other thing. How many people do you know that are not willing to be in touch with their feelings or are not willing to put them on display? that's probably the hardest part, to even take 1 second to reflect on yourself and think about how you're feeling for any particular circumstance, and then convert that into something else. That takes a lot of effort, takes a lot of self-knowledge, and
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you want to speak on where you've been the past couple of months, or we can just kind of mosey on over that?
What do you mean where?
You're in this phase for the past like 6-7 months of not being vulnerable anymore. Was there an event that happened, or just this phase of life, or is there a lot of change going on?
Well, I've definitely like taken a deeper step into my like coding abilities and tech development. So being a part of 3 different companies right now, like in the tech sphere, has basically made me more logic based.
Okay.
I figured out how to code some stuff like in an Excel spreadsheet that blew my mind. I can't believe I did that. It's a boxing game, NFT boxing game. It's pretty cool.
I've seen that. That's on your website, right?
Yeah.
Wow.
So there's that. And then I have 2 other apps that I'm building, have been for a long time. And it's just, I think, when I go around the what's it called? Merry-go-round?
Yeah.
Ferris wheel.
The merry-wheel.
The merry-go-round of all the things I do. I kind of get put into different spots, and I wear different hats. And right now I'm wearing a digital, what's it called? A technical creation hat that's so logic based that to be in the ethos and actually feel through things right now, it's just not where I'm at.
Oh, wow. That's so interesting. But yeah, that's so cool that I guess you're having this experience and to have that awareness of that. Mm-hmm. Wow. I love that. Like a little chameleon.
I'm definitely a chameleon.
Have you have psychedelics been a part of your work ever, or mind and space?
Yeah, I would say probably more when I was like coming out of college. Not so much. I was born on 420, so if that's any indication.
So was my best friend. Wow,
really?
Yeah.
Me?
Yeah. Yes, you.
Oh my god. Wow. I feel so special already. You guys have been such great hosts.
We're only like 12 minutes in. Wow.
Yeah, so yeah, definitely. I have always been interested in, what the mind is capable of, and anything that can kind of expand the consciousness or take me to a place where I can see things differently or reflect differently, or just, dig underneath the veil of what we all see typically. I think is very important. Again, with the artistry thing, like willing to go a different route than what most people are willing to do, and take back experiences from that kind of convert me into a different element, or make me just see the world differently, of course, than anyone else.
Okay, cool.
When did you first start dabbling with that, and why? And did you see a shift in your art?
Well, I was definitely young. I have to say, when I was young, I had a kidney surgery that pretty much put me on opioids, and was, for the lack of a better term, addicted to opioids for a short period of time when I was 14, young, right?
Wow.
So,
Yeah.
So from a young age, I've had some, I call it lateral mental expansion, where my brain is just going sideways and I'm seeing things differently. I totally don't feel like myself. I feel like something has taken over me. So that kind of opened my mind a little bit to what's possible with, and that's not necessarily psychedelics, that's more opioids, but it definitely showed me that these substances are interesting, to say the least. I definitely have recovered from that, and I'm not interested in that kind of thing at all.
Yeah.
But it kind of opened the door for that kind of thing. And after that, typical thing, everybody smokes weed once in a while, or tries it at least.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And I tried it. I enjoyed it. It definitely made me more receptive to the movies I would watch. It would make me really listen intently to the music I was listening to. And at the time, that was like Jay-Z's Reasonable Doubt, Notorious B.I.G. We're talking Tupac type stuff.
Okay.
And I was really into that like 90s hip hop scene. And then, of course, from there, kind of just everything else expanded. I just love music in general. So to appreciate things from that perspective was another reason why I kept kind of going through it.
Wow.
Getting into the psychedelic. Would you necessarily consider cannabis to be a psychedelic? I mean, for me, it can be pretty intense sometimes.
It can be.
Yeah,
I've just
I guess
never,
we don't
I've
experience
just never
it
gone
with
that far.
we were talking more on like LSD, mushrooms kind of vibe. But I mean, no, one time I ate 3 gummies and I left the donut place here and I was walking on the sidewalk and a person was walking past me and their face, like that definitely was a psychedelic experience. They looked like I could see their emotion, and that was like one of the most intense whatever psychedelic experiences on weed. So yeah, I mean, it could be both, but
I'm incredibly sensitive to things like that. So I don't want to say anytime I do that, I'm seeing stuff, but like if I smoke and I close my eyes, I can see basically an infinite assortment of patterns and shapes and colors and lines, which feeds into my art for sure. So for me, it's incredibly psychedelic.
Okay.
And then the other stuff, yeah, for sure. But mostly like through college or getting out of college, mostly just trips with the boys and experiencing
This
nature.
Is Patty, sorry.
That's all right.
There's a cat on the table.
Animals like me.
Patty, I don't know.
You give off Jesus vibes.
Yeah.
Wow.
Did you just say that?
Thank you.
You give off Jesus vibes. His artwork is just.
What about me? Can I selfishly ask?
You have a very grounding energy.
Energy.
It's very calm. It's very serene. There's a caring aspect to you. There's a maturity. There's intelligence.
There's a patience.
Yeah, like yeah.
Which we
Definitely
have needed
patient.
today.
They made me wait for an hour. I'm kidding.
But I think the biggest word coming to mind is this groundedness, and that's a part of your power that I'm feeling.
And it doesn't hurt that you showed up in all white and you have a beard, but we're just gonna go there.
I like it. All right. Yeah. I mean, if we dig into the astrology, I'm a 0 degrees Taurus, which is cool.
Oh, what
people
does
care
0
about that.
degree mean?
You're like exactly Taurus?
Yeah. Like,
like
we're
on
talking
every scale?
Yeah. No. Like the sun sign is exactly like 0, 0, 0 type stuff, which is pretty cool.
Wow.
So, Taurus energy, pretty calming.
Yeah, they are.
Other than that, I spent a long time kind of just chilling out, just reducing all of my personal anxieties or stressors and trying to live a life where I'm never in the fear mindset and always just here in the present, I guess. Simple answer.
You seem like someone that I could tell a secret to and you wouldn't repeat it.
Never.
Yeah.
Literally never.
Like very trusting.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's my favorite.
Yeah.
I'm good at that.
Yeah, wow. I'm a Capricorn, so I'm also an Earth sign. And I only know one other Taurus, and I don't know many other Earth signs. I have fire and water friends. But the time I got to know this person, I was like, oh, it's interesting. It was a very whoa, it again, the word grounded.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll definitely take my shoes off, walk around barefoot. I'm pretty primal. That's if I've ever taken mushrooms or psychedelics that way, I am not kidding you. I am like 99% ape.
I thought you were about to say levitating.
Well, no, I feel like I'm levitating, but definitely ape.
Wow.
Shoes off, shirt off, go in the water. I wrote. I was not on mushrooms, but I picked up a rock the other day. And I wrote on a rock with a rock because I didn't have a pen and paper.
Oh,
so
wow. What'd you write? Was it a message or just like a word?
Yeah, I was on this island outside of Cleveland, and I was just kind of walking around, and I love to look at nature. That's like where I feel most comfortable. And there was a bluebird that flew by, and it was incredibly we're talking so blue, it's insane. It caught my attention. I had a double take. I saw that. There was some swans in this swamp. I thought that was beautiful.
Wow.
And these are just like little things that I wanted to remember. And my sister also loves this place. So there were a couple things I wanted to tell my sister. And I absolutely would have forgotten unless I wrote it down. So I picked up a rock and wrote on a rock with a rock.
Cute.
It was very primal. I'm not necessarily like Liver King.
Yes, God. That's who I sent you.
Yeah,
We're
yeah.
just eating the heart at the table with his family.
He's awesome. He's a nice guy. I had an opportunity to meet him.
Oh my
Great.
gosh. We're like both
Karen.
vegans, so we're just like, oh my god.
Yeah,
So just on the
he's
opposite
not
scale.
your style.
No. So are you close with your sister?
Definitely.
Okay.
Definitely.
wow.
Is
She's
she your only sibling?
no, I have a younger brother and then 2 step siblings.
Oh, okay. Wow, so a big family.
Hmm.
Were your parents supportive of you wanting to be an artist?
I don't want to say they weren't supportive, but not necessarily always understanding of what the path looks like, because it's pretty unorthodox.
Yeah.
My dad's been a dentist for 30 some years, and my mom was a business owner for 14 of the past however many years. She worked at the same place for a long time and then became the owner of the business. So it was like long period of time doing pretty standard work related things. And the art world is just so different. So.
Yeah.
Right.
Did you grow up in a really religious household or no?
No, I was raised Catholic.
Same.
Went to church sometimes. Definitely the CEO. Do you know that?
No.
Church, Christmas and Easter only.
Oh.
Oh, wow.
funny.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then we go some other times, but I've always been interested in studying religions outside of church and just seeing, what these codexes are that have given people the way of life for so long.
Right.
Yeah. I mean, do you have any opinions on all that stuff now?
On religion?
Yeah. Or like, what's your walk of life? What's your cup of tea?
I like to use cup of tea. That's good.
Yeah.
It seems very Buddhist. I will say, for lack of a better term, I was like a practicing Buddhist for about 4 years.
Oh, wow.
From kind of like 2018 to 2022.
Okay.
Not so much enveloped in Christianity or Catholicism, but I'm so interested in all the ways that people might think or how they've been raised, just so I can have a better understanding of everyone that exists on this planet. And I think, I think some people could really use religion, but not necessarily in the sense of like the theatrical nature of going to church and doing all those things that you typically do in religion, but a lot of the morals and ethics that get taught through the books themselves. If there was a more condensed version that people could kind of look at and understand how to best live for themselves, that would be very beneficial. But a lot of people have been casting it away recently because TikTok's really fun to look at.
Right. Yeah. We've interviewed an ex-Jehovah's Witness, and she said that TikTok was what was getting people that were currently Jehovah's Witness to leave the organization, because more information is like getting out there and stuff to them that was sheltered from them on Facebook and Instagram, but TikTok is providing more information for them to get out. So it's just interesting, but yeah.
We definitely live in an information age, so like anything you want to know, you can know.
Yeah, it's crazy how much, I mean, even regarding TikTok, I learned an unhealthy amount of random ass shit like every single day. And I don't even know if that's unhealthy. I think TikTok itself is unhealthy, but I learned so much on that app.
Yeah.
Why is it unhealthy?
Well, I mean, short form videos is just making my attention span just
mine is already there, so I enjoy it, but I'm not on it maybe like once a week, I think. So
yeah,
I'm only watching what you're sending me. So.
If you have the control to not scroll, like that's the best way to do it. But there's too many people in the world who just get sucked in. I unfortunately am one of them.
Yeah,
that's how short my attention span is I can't even focus on TikTok that long. After something else will happen.
This is your second attention span? How is that even possible?
I'm like, oh, like, and I go to the next thing. But I do want to get into more of what you're doing now and everything. So you're the CEO of Mind?
Yes, I am.
Yeah.
What does that mean?
Yeah, tell us about that.
Well, mine has gone through various phases of what the hell it is, but currently it's an art consultancy and more like creative direction for people who need to have some sort of, like I said, lateral creative thinking. It's kind of the way I look at it. So you call me up and ask me to kind of install myself in your project or whatever it is you're thinking about and working through with your own artistry. And, me and a couple other people that I've put together will figure out how to best implement the idea you have with your kind of your secret sauce, and then some secret sauce that I have.
So we could like hire you to do, here we go. I don't know.
What do you mean by that?
Well, as an example, like a consultancy, if we needed help, we could be like, hey, Mac, hey, Mind, like, could you help us do the show? Or like, I don't know.
Yeah,
Or
I mean, like I could help in any capacity for sure. But like, is it logistics or is it creativity? I prefer the creative aspect. I am not like an operator by any means.
Yeah.
I think if we were like, oh, here's our podcast, here's our vibe, here's our style, here's the artwork we're used to,
Run it.
how can you change this to still be updated but within our vibe? Is that kind of like what your company
Absolutely.
does?
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
But mostly the like avenue I'm going towards is, do you know who Rick Rubin is? You ever heard of him? He's a legendary music producer. I definitely recommend looking him up. He's a fantastic human, very wise, very stoic, calm, grounding. And he's just worked with legendary artists forever and is able to draw the best out of them. I think that's really my thing. I'm able to ask really good questions to allow you to figure out what it is you're trying to do. So maybe more the like ancient Greek, what is it called? Educare, or I don't know what the word is, but to educate, to draw out. That's where I think all the wisdom and knowledge comes from. So I'd prefer to, I don't want to say not do anything, but mostly just help people think with their minds on how to just be the best creative
It
self.
almost sounds like creative therapy. Like therapists kind of just push you
Slightly,
to use your mind.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you
Pretty
ever
much.
find people that come to you and they're harder? Like, do you have to work with people that have like mental health issues in the art space?
Yeah, I mean, don't we all?
Yeah, but I mean, like, I guess well, I get to pick and choose, so but people, I guess, yeah. Well, I guess
we all
yeah.
have some sort of if you're an artist, there's something that makes you like not neurotypical is the word.
Yeah.
And myself personally, like, of course, I totally fit in that category, and I've done a lot of personal work to kind of, stop my ADHD from taking over my life, take my OCD, and instead of being like obsessively compulsive, I'm more like obsessively creative. So to take those things and say this is a negative, but let's turn it into a positive as more of a superpower, and help people just figure out how to best do that. So it's not necessarily therapy. It's not, I'm not a doctor, but I'm definitely like guiding the waters of how to work within yourself on how to release the best work from your brain.
Wow.
Yeah. To empower others to kind of come into their power.
What form of art do you feel the most at home in?
Whatever I'm working on at the time.
Okay.
I love them all. I've often said if I could travel around the world with just a pen and a pen and a pad, I would probably like be able to do a lot. I love having a camera in my hand. There's something about capturing light that's pretty unique. And I guess just the art form I've been working on lately is literally what I just described, like helping other people make art. Like my art is working with other people to make their art.
Like service. Yeah. I mean, we're all here to serve to some degree, and it feels so fucking good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was definitely self-serving for a long time with my personal stuff, but like if I'm bottled up, I need to release something. So I'm okay with that. But now I'm finding it takes a lot of pressure off me. I don't have to be in the spotlight all the time doing stuff. The Hollywood lifestyle, I lived that for a little while. Having even a sideways spotlight on me was a lot. It's very intense.
Yeah. Can we talk about your time in LA and like working with Logan? What was that like for you? How was your mental health?
Well, first of all, it's like a dream come true to work with my best friend for however many years and continue to work with him. So like, that's pretty awesome.
Yeah.
At the beginning, it was really great to just introduce myself to the Hollywood sphere tangentially and not have to necessarily be something or someone for myself. And I learned a lot. I got to see behind the curtain for a lot of different things. And mental health wise, definitely ups and downs. Those Hollywood parties are weird. It's like ego driven, all the characters that you'll meet and, how to interact with different people who might have different triggers for whatever it is, and if you disrespect them slightly, it could affect,
Yeah.
you know,
A
something
ripple
down, yeah,
effect, yeah.
butterfly effect down the way. So, just, you know, trying to be always myself, which is, you know, I feel like I'm pretty good at doing that. Always myself, this Cleveland, Ohio kid who's now in this weird world of Hollywood. It like I said, ups and downs, but I was in a really great place with great people that I always loved to be around. Then pandemic times hit, and it was kind of like, all right, well, what the hell is going on with anything ever? And mental health took a huge dive there, but I think we all did. So it's,
Right.
yeah, I'm not too unique there.
Well, how's dating been for you?
Dating?
Yeah.
That's a hot jump.
Well, not really, because in LA, I kind of
Oh, yeah.
You're talking
mentioned,
LA
like-
dating, or are you talking here?
Well, I was.
Let's hear 'em both.
LA made me think of that because you mentioned Hollywood parties, and then we're from a small town, and I know personally when I go out to LA, it's really hard for me to find people that I connect with being in a small
Yeah.
town, and also just trying to be more open. I don't know.
How was the Green Eyed Party?
The Green Eye Party was great. A lot of beautiful people there.
Okay,
A lot of
cool.
beautiful people. Wasn't dating anyone at the time. Dating in LA, I'm definitely like, when I get into relationships, it's always a magical occurrence. Like, it's always driving down the highway, see a sign, go to the party, meet a girl that's like related to this, and then we have like this beautiful flourishing relationship.
Oh wow.
So a couple of times that happened in LA, and you know, great significant relationships, good memories of my life, but have moved on from those because I don't live in LA anymore. Definitely not a long distance person. That's like way off of my list.
Yeah.
It's not.
Yeah, I've never done that. I've never had to.
Do you like? I'm someone that in the dating world, just being a photographer, wouldn't want to date another photographer. So like from artist to artist, like do you find yourself drawn to people that are totally opposite in that field?
Ooh, that's interesting. I've definitely had a mix of the two. I think I like generally prefer creative people,
Yeah.
just for the most part. I think they probably have a better understanding of me, and
Right.
naturally I'll have a deeper understanding of them and what they're trying to do. And then it becomes kind of collaborative and something, you know, a third thing to work on between just me and her. So I do enjoy creative women in a relationship with a creative woman, but
I don't
know.
I would have to be with a creative person, but I am always just like, I don't really photographer.
The biggest mental hang up I've had with that is like, you know, the 1 + 1 = 3 kind of thing for a synergistic relationship. I bring all of myself to the relationship. You bring all of yourself to the relationship, and then together we are better than just two.
Yeah.
However, there's like so many parts I fall off. Like I said, I'm not an operator. So like when it comes to like paperwork, phone calls, emails, that's like the last thing on earth I ever want to do. I'm not interested. I just don't like it. So much so that I actively avoid it. And if I had someone on my team in a relationship, like I don't want to put that on someone else, but like that, how great would that be to have a type A person in my life that could really help me
Yeah,
the
where I
balance
fall
there.
off. But that, how many gurus have said you have to be perfect within yourself before you can find the perfect match?
Yeah.
And it's like, I don't know. I don't know who to listen to these days.
I don't know who to listen to these days. Okay, interesting. I just kind of wanted to ask because being from a town totally opposite from LA, was it hard for you to connect with people romantically or not?
Oh, is it? Well, no one from LA is like really from LA or like in
Right.
LA.
That's
Oh.
true. But I
No.
mean, yeah, I don't know.
A lot of transplants.
Because
and
you've had a hard time.
Yeah.
We know a lot of people that have had a hard. I couldn't do that, and so I just like that's why I wanted to ask someone else. So
I like how you put it though, like a magical occurrence.
yeah,
that's how all my
what?
relationships
Yeah.
are. I'm very intuitive, so to have an intuitive understanding that I will, like, of course, have a relationship with this person, an extended relationship with this person, it comes pretty quickly to me. Oddly enough, I don't know how to describe it other than I just kind of know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I kind of just run with that, and I'll, wait in the meantime. I don't expend a lot of energy looking for a partner. I'm just kind of
Living.
I'm living, and then when the divine, and what do I call it? When the divine feminine, who's faceless and formless, decides to reveal herself to me, she just enters my life.
Cute.
That's so cute.
Wow.
I mean, it does feel the best. It can feel the best that way when you just meet. It's just like your timing aligns, everything aligns. You said to me, it takes so much alignment for two people to meet each other and for it to work. It does.
Yeah.
For same like you're in the same space in life, you know, you're open to love, same place, like, oh, you texted them back. Like, it really does take so much alignment. And you've said love is magic.
Yeah,
love is magic.
It's very, and it's disruptive, and it's intoxicating. It's all these things. But yeah, like, I mean, I don't think it's a lot of things have to be aligned for you to like meet someone and be attracted and like hook up. But like a lot of things have to be aligned to have a actual sustainable relationship with someone, because you both have to be there, and that takes so much. So yeah.
It's difficult, and you have to be willing to put the effort in too on top of all that.
Yeah, and the effort alone is probably the rarest part. Like, finding people that will put as much into it as you is.
That's true.
Yeah. So, what was I going to ask you? This is also another spin off of what we were just talking about. I did want to know like what each form of art has done for you personally.
Ooh, that's a good one. They're definitely all learning mechanisms. That's for sure. Photography has taught me how to stop time. That's number one.
Whoa.
It blows my mind that I don't think people think about this enough, but like that a camera can just stop time. Like it can just take a picture of something and just it's there forever. That
Did you ever watch the movie
memory.
Clock Stoppers growing up? There's this movie called, I think it was called Clock Stoppers. I could be wrong. Something like that. But they could stop time with a little watch. And I remember watching that movie and thinking, all I ever want to do when I grow up, or like what I want to do is if I had a superpower, it would be to stop time. So then when I picked up a camera and realized that that's what I was doing, I was like, oh, I like definitely manifested that I can now stop time in some capacity.
I think I remember this movie. I don't know if I saw it, but yeah.
There's like, there's a scene that sticks out where there's like a bee floating in super slow motion, which is, it always stands out to me. But yeah, so photography taught me how to stop time and how to really cherish people's perfect angles or the spots of them that they want to highlight that they don't necessarily know they want to highlight. So to find someone's angle, whether that's like their internal beauty or their external beauty, is really fun. So really paying close attention to the human being I'm looking at in front of me.
Cute.
Music has taught me how to create something for a general mass of people. Like the goal of most music is to kind of entertain a group.
Do you produce music or? Okay. Wow. What's your style?
Definitely hip hop influence mostly, but lately I've been like just banging out D&B tracks and like EDM stuff.
Sick.
I love it.
Well, we love that.
Yeah.
Dang, okay.
We love dubstep.
Yeah.
Okay. No dubstep. That's like surprisingly difficult to make.
Wait, what
I'm
EDM
always
are you
like,
doing
how
then?
did they make that?
I have no idea.
Wait, so then what EDM are you like?
I would consider it more like house, but then there's like some synth stuff. So like Swedish House Mafia has been a big influence since their latest album release. Like I've just been like, oh, this is so cool. I want to make that kind of stuff.
Okay.
So going that direction a bit more, but I still love hip hop and I love to help people like record their albums and then spice it up along the way, or produce a whole album and then go from there. Yeah. So yeah, I guess that too, music's taught me how to like really be receptive to what someone else is saying. So I'm really listening to like
What they want.
well, not even that, like I guess yes, but the intonation of how they're saying something. Are they saying it with their chest? Are they saying it with their, you know, like their full bravado? Is it a head voice? Is it, are they honest and true? Like you can definitely hear the honesty in someone's music. If they're lying, you can like, I don't know if you can tell. That's like one of my favorite things that I've been able to pick out of a lot of music.
Wow,
That's
so
why
cool.
I don't really connect with pop music at all. Because the lyrics are super like surface level to me. There's some artists that aren't, but I think as the only pop artist that I've ever been like, okay, perhaps is like with their lyrics are like Lana Del Rey, if that's even what you consider pop. And
I wouldn't consider her pop.
Okay, thank God. Okay.
But she's a fantastic lyricist.
Yeah.
She definitely like gets under the skin a lot with what she says.
Mm-hmm.
So to get to that level of writing is incredibly difficult.
Well, she does poetry first, right? And then she'll...
I'm not sure on her process.
Oh, okay.
But anyone that's think about how heartfelt her music is and how many people's lives it changed. That like Diet Mountain Dew is like one of my favorite old songs. In video games.
Yeah.
Definitely a huge Lana fan. Always have been.
Okay.
So she's amazing. What else? What other kind of arts are there?
Poetry?
Painting.
Painting. Oh my God.
Poetry.
Painting has taught me how to just like layer and layer and layer and pour it all out and then cover it all up and then pour it all out again and then leave some elements, bring new elements. I'm definitely in the abstract world. So to take like abstract concepts and try to put that into a visualization is quite the challenge. And like I just said, with the divine feminine, faceless and formless, that idea came from this one painting that I randomly made. It's almost like it feels autonomous when I do it. It's like I'm not even painting the painting kind of thing. So I guess another thing I've learned from that is how to kind of flow or get into a flow state very quickly and channel a flow that allows me to work without judgment, work without fear of making the mistake, because as Bob Ross might say, there's only happy accidents, right?
Yay, I'm so glad he was dropped into this.
Yeah. Did you watch a lot of Bob Ross?
Yeah. I just love him.
I listened to your podcast with Bobby, and
Oh, shout out Bobby. What's up?
yeah, hi.
He helped us a lot on this.
Yeah. But you mentioned that you try or would like to include the 5 love languages in your artwork. And were you referring to your paintings?
Ooh, probably. Or just all of it. I mean, they're all at the core, they're kind of the same thing. You start with an idea, then it becomes, you gather the materials. It's almost like the scientific method, right? So yeah, I'm sure in some capacity I'm putting all of the love languages into them in the best I can, right? Love, we're all here for love.
Yeah.
Yeah. I thought that was really cute. I was like, wow, because you mentioned like touching your paintings. I was like,
Well, where would gifts come into that?
you're giving someone a
I
painting?
love gifts. I love giving
Is
gifts.
this a gift right now?
Yes,
Is
it
that
is.
one of your love languages?
Yes, it's absolutely my favorite.
I'm
love
a gift
language.
giver.
What?
Oh, it
I'm not.
literally has my name on it.
I don't even want to. Oh my god.
Should we do this right now?
Yeah, for sure.
Okay.
I love giving gifts. Yeah, so I'm a writer, obviously.
What?
And this is my invention that I have created over the years, which is the Mind Book. Yes, I call it a manifestation
cute.
station, I guess. It's the best place to put all the things that you want to come into reality. It's very powerful. It's very magical. It's definitely made by my hands. So
Cute, thank you.
Did
Absolutely.
you make this paper? Like, is
I
it
didn't make
like
the paper.
recycled paper?
it is recycled paper. It's
Okay,
made with
wow.
hemp and other recycled things.
Oh, this is so cute.
I'm like, this has to be for very special thoughts.
Right.
Yes.
Oh my god.
This is like your pocket thoughts.
It is.
Wow, thank you.
You could have
so
used this
much.
when you were looking at the bird.
I know. I specifically went on a
You
walk
had a
without it.
stone.
Yeah, because I've just collected everything. So I'm like kind of on this, I don't even want to write anything right now phase. And I'm like forcing myself to not walk around with one of these.
Oh, wow.
Cool.
As I have one in my
I
hand.
appreciate this so much. Thank
This
you.
is, oh, wow, your bookmark's so cool.
Yeah.
Look at mine.
So the goal with that is to not have a cover as well, so that you can have a cover. You can flip it over, something I've recently implemented. But the goal is that you always have it open, so that you're always willing to jot something down that is meaningful
cool.
or insightful, or just something you want to see come into life. Like I said, it's like super powerful. I've had a lot of people manifest serious things. There's a good family friend of mine who wrote that she was going to go to the Olympics, and as a matter of fact, she did.
Wow.
So, like, competed in
We
the Olympics.
Are high into manifestation.
I have like my yearly goals and manifestations at the beginning of the year, and I don't go back and look at them until like months later, like to where I typically forget what I wrote down.
Yeah.
And we're on the 5th month. I looked at it this week, and I've accomplished so much on that list where
That's
I
incredible.
forgot about, and I'm like, what the fuck?
Yeah,
Like,
that's great.
crazy. It's not even just like I'm going to go to the gym more. It's like, no, like I will
They're
have
like
this or this will
big,
happen. Yeah.
Super specific.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Can you explain NFTs to us?
Oh,
'Cause
wow.
we don't know.
Yeah,
We don't know
we
anything.
wanted. I mean, initially when I messaged you, we wanted to really just focus on that. But then I was like, okay, but this
but
person
then-
is way more than just like an
Yeah.
NFT artist.
Yeah. Yeah. My simple answer is that they're just a pretty receipt.
Oh.
okay.
So
Good way to put it.
yeah, it's a proof of energy transfer or proof of money transfer. And then on top of that, you put an image.
So how do you feel about them?
Definitely all about revolution and revolutionary technology. So I think it's really going to be one of the biggest things that we'll ever experience in our lifetime. I definitely see like a super predatory market out there that's damaging to a lot of people, also massively beneficial to a lot of people who are able to flip and trade. But there's always a buyer, there's always a seller, and someone's always losing for the most part. Of course, there can be mutually beneficial things, but I definitely see that side of it as being kind of the most rampant thing that we're seeing in the NFT world. But then as far as like the other technology that's been super life-changing for people and allowing artists to kind of have their renaissance moment in this 2020 era of, digital adoption and everything becoming digitized, why would you ever make anything on a material thing ever if we're going to have physical or digital screens everywhere? It's kind of, the trend is digital. So to have a place where there's actually something tangible that you can have in the internet world is pretty significant for a lot of artists.
So if you had a choice to have your art displayed in a museum, would you want it displayed on a screen or physically?
Depends on the medium.
What about your smiley face art? Let's see.
That's physical for sure.
Okay.
That was a fun experiment. I made these little
I love those.
little magnet smiley faces, and I stuck them all over the city of Cleveland. And a giant one, I put that on there was a free stamp. I don't know if you've ever seen that.
A free stamp.
It says free. It's pretty cool. So I climbed up there and I put a giant smiley face on it. It's pretty cool. It made it into a commercial.
Oh,
accidentally.
wow.
Yeah, accidentally. It was just in the background.
And you just saw this on TV?
My grandma saw it. She called me. She's like, "I saw your smiley face on TV." I was like, "Okay." Cool.
What commercial?
Some car commercial.
Okay, wow.
Yeah.
Smiley faces have definitely made an impact in the art world over the past year.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're taking over. I think this might sound ridiculous, but I definitely think it's some sort of like alien telepathic thing that's being beamed into all of us.
Really?
Fine.
Where did this thought process, like how, can you explain the train of thought with how you got there?
Yeah, just kind of what you said. Like you're seeing smiley faces everywhere. They're kind of just popping up everywhere, and it seems like this endless thing where all these artists from all over the world are seemingly coming across the smiley face as a major source of something to create with. And I don't know why. I don't know why we would all have that. The collective conscious is pretty powerful, but to see that many people, I mean, we're talking a significant amount of people.
They're everywhere.
Yeah, Justin
over,
Bieber's thing. A couple people I follow on Instagram were doing it. Just like all of a sudden, it's very, very odd.
So true.
What would be the message? Like, what would be the point?
I just thought it was a trend.
Yeah, but like, if it was like a message, a telepathic thing, what would be that goal, do you think?
Smile.
Oh,
Really?
Yeah, like
Yeah.
does it not? Yeah, like it makes you happy. I mean, they started happening I started seeing maybe the end of 2020. 2021 was pretty big. Like last spring was when all the smileys and mushrooms like started trending. Like I see mushrooms everywhere, like the little red mushrooms, and we partake, like we have little red mushrooms everywhere, but it's definitely trendy. Like you go into Urban Outfitters and like all you see is like little mushrooms.
Yeah.
That's weird. That's the one where it's like, is it confirmation bias that you're out there like in the world and like, oh, I see mushrooms everywhere I go now. Like, are you looking for it? When you think
That's
of
true.
you're
Like
going to buy the specific car, so now you see that car everywhere.
Oh, true.
It's like definitely a psychological phenomenon that you just start paying attention more and you see it more.
So the car example, I think literally almost anyone can probably be like, yeah, that happens to me. I started seeing like repeating numbers like years ago. And I was like, damn. And I compared it to the car thing. And I was like, if I can do this with numbers, like what else can I do this with? And I was like, happiness, goodness. Like if you are open and subconsciously looking for goodness, you will find it and it will present itself.
Yeah.
So
Or looking for ways to do good. That's another one.
yeah.
I think it's Benjamin Franklin would always say, what good can I do today? Every day he would wake up. He'd say, what good can I do today?
Aww.
And that's him actively seeking to provide good for the world. It's pretty significant.
Cute.
Wow.
Okay, didn't know about that, Ben.
So I guess going back to the NFTs, as a traditional artist who started off with like physical form, what did you first think? Like, were you like, oh, fuck yeah, or were you questioning it at first?
I definitely questioned it rigorously because it's incredibly difficult to add a physical component to a digital thing. I kind of see them as two different entities. Even if in the photography world, a digital image rights are different than like the physical image rights. So they're two totally separate things. But ultimately, I saw, because first of all, the thing that drew me in, I can't lie, was like these people were making so much money instantly, and it was unbelievable that it was happening. So I know that back in the 1500s, whenever Venetian accounting was invented in Italy, that's when the Renaissance started to bloom. Essentially, now that we have this new accounting system known as the blockchain, we definitely have this spurred Renaissance that's finding ways to influence the arts and propel the arts and provide ways for artists to create new, interesting technologies that will forever expand the way all humans interact on the internet and monetarily. So I see it really as a way to further human capabilities, and I think art has always done that. It's always expanded the way people see things and the way we interact with each other day to day, just based on what someone can paint or what they could write or whatever it is. And yeah, this is just another addition to all that.
Oh, wow. Well, I guess what does a NFT artist look like on the day-to-day aspect, or even with a project? Like what goes into that when you are making the art, and then from the start time to releasing it? Or is it just the same? Are you just uploading a picture and then people are buying it?
Well, I have two different styles on that. So one is just the art that I make the art, I scan it, digitize it, upload it, and put it up for sale. That's simply one way of doing it. And
so it starts physical first. Me
typically, yes. I prefer to work with my hands. It's just how I have always been. I don't love to work digitally, but Photoshop can be fun. It's just not my strong suit. Music is an interesting way to do NFTs. That's definitely gaining in popularity recently, but I just haven't taken a step in that direction. So yeah, I have my upload it, put it for sale, see what happens. And that, that art process is the art process, right? So make the art is one thing, but it's the same as basically posting it to Instagram.
Can as many people buy it? Like, can an infinite amount of people buy it, or is there a cap to it, or can one person have it?
Well, there's the one of ones, which is what I prefer. I prefer to have individual, unique pieces, but you can do editioned art similar to a photo print, where you release multiple of the same one, and a lot of 1,000 people, 10,000 people could all buy the same piece itself.
Or is it the exact same, or is it just a very different variation?
It would be the exact same if it was an addition.
Okay, just because I know the Bored Apes, or those are all different variation. I know Motherfuckers. Did you hear about those?
No.
Oh, they were like these little doodle things that blew up. I don't know where they're at now, but
oh, MFers.
Oh
yeah.
Those are so cute.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of projects these days, and once everybody figured out that you could just create a 10,000 randomly generated profile picture NFT and sell it if you have good marketing, it kind of took off. But that's kind of the area I don't love so much. It gives people a lot of community sometimes, but it's it's a little
right. Real community is real life.
Yeah, for sure. But internet communities are amazing. This show is probably largely made popular by the internet community.
Yeah.
So, we definitely live we're from this era. We're from this internet age where that's part of who we are. We're partly internet-based beings.
Yeah.
Which is odd.
Yeah.
Well, what is the residual benefits versus doing NFTs versus being a traditional artist? Is it better or worse?
Unknown, but probably I would say better if you're selling the right kind of artworks. So, royalty payments that come in automatically after a sale. If I sell a piece to you and then you sell it to Lacey, I would get a piece of that sale. So that part is the most significant part for all artists that have ever walked the earth. I think that's what everyone has always wanted. I always write that into my contracts of sale when I sell a painting. If you do sell this painting, you're contractually obliged to give me a royalty payment.
Wow.
But
Great.
Some people like it. Some people are like, well, that's stupid. And I'm like, I think it's fantastic. I created the thing that created more value for you. So
Right. And also, if you were to sell it to Stephanie for $500 and she were to sell it to me for like $700, you should.
Shiesty.
Well, yeah, like she would be just profiting off of you.
exactly.
That's kind of like how, if I take a photo and then, if someone does a photo shoot with me, great. But if they're going to use that as an ad to profit more, then they have to actually pay me a whole separate fee. Yeah, because that's just a totally different thing. And a lot of people don't understand that either. So I like that you do that. But we did just interview Richard Hart, and his view on NFTs are that he doesn't like them, or that he thinks that they're pointless. They're like Beanie Babies, he said. They will be of no value later or something. How do you deal with people like that? Or what do you say to somebody like that, I guess?
Well, the stuff that maybe he's talking about, collectibles, right? That's one area that I've never really gotten into. I'm not necessarily into collecting playing cards or trading cards or whatever, different little whatever they are. I don't like that. The only thing I collect is typewriters and cameras. I like those because they're useful.
Yeah.
So I should say working typewriters and working cameras.
Yeah, I was
right?
okay.
But I prefer to create things of value or things that have utility. So if you have an NFT that, I guess a membership card is one thing that a lot of people are finding a good amount of value in, but the gift that keeps on giving, it's not just a one-time purchase, you buy the thing and now you have this image. If you can create something that actually has a use, a purpose, or provides entertainment value, or provides something that is more than just, here, look at this thing I have, then I can see where the actual value is derived from.
Okay. Well, so he also described it as it was just pointless to buy a link to a JPEG or something like that. And
there's a couple different things. You can actually store an image on the blockchain. It's slightly more difficult and more involved, and a lot of people are not doing that. So yeah, essentially what he's describing is if the servers went down at the place that was hosting your file, the image itself is gone. Right, so it's kind of worthless. That's why I say it's a pretty receipt. Do you keep your receipts when you go to the grocery store?
No.
I don't really need it, but it is a proof of energy transfer, money transfer. So it's valuable for accounting purposes. But it would just be if Trader Joe's had a really pretty picture on the front and you really wanted to keep the receipt for some reason. I don't know.
Yeah. Okay. Well, how do you feel about the metaverse and people purchasing millions of dollars worth of land in it?
I don't know yet. I think that's all advertisement. I think it's all basically like buying a billboard right now.
Okay.
And
I've never been. How do you go into the metaverse? How do you get there?
There's a lot of different ways.
I don't even know.
Sandbox. You could check out Sandbox.
What is that?
It's kind of like Minecraft, but a little bit more.
A game?
Yeah.
You just walk around
yeah, it's like a. It's
do you
like
have an avatar?
You have an avatar.
Wow.
You have. I actually haven't played around with Sandbox too much, but a lot of these have building capabilities. So you create some sort of art, and then you can put that on the land that you just bought. And I mean, you can run full businesses out of these places. You can open up a shop and sell different services in the metaverse.
I can't with it yet.
Is it?
It's hard.
Is crypto the only thing that works in the metaverse?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm sure there's ways to pay with fiat currency, but I don't know. I don't spend a lot of time there. I'm largely uninterested in that. I don't love being on my phone. I don't really love to be on my computer unless I'm in kind of a YouTube binge or like doom scrolling on TikTok, which I've just deleted. Like I don't even have it on my phone. Thank God. It was too much.
Doom scrolling. Wow.
Yeah.
Have NFTs like affected you financially? Like, have you seen a drastic shift in just before and after?
Drastic, no. I mean, it kind of, because it became my focus, it became my like primary source of income. And in that regard, yes, there was like a drastic shift because it took my attention somewhere else rather than physical art itself. But I kind of slowed down because I want to stay away from like the scummy and scammy type stuff. I want to make sure I'm always creating heartfelt things that are true to me. And if it's not true to me, I'm just not really interested in taking part in that. But it's led me to so much innovation within myself and like inventing ways of interpreting data to have a boxing match and then create a community based around that and then inspire people hopefully to work out or maybe go box themselves. And then, you know, like I have visions for building a metaverse type place where the ownership of your NFT that gets you into this thing can then allow you to watch and partake and all this stuff. So it's
like a ticket.
It is like a ticket. So that's, they use the word like non-fungible token. I really prefer non-fungible ticket. That has been a stronger word for me in this world. But either way,
it's crazy. Like we are so not in that space where I wouldn't even know the first thing to do.
I definitely recommend going to manifold.xyz. That's like the best.
Manifold.xyz.
Manifold.
There's a .xyz.
Of course.
What is that?
It's a good ending. That's big in the crypto world for sure.
Oh.
Okay.
But yeah, that's
so behind.
If you're like a up and coming artist, Manifold is a great way to like create your own contract. So instead of using like the big sites, you have your own contract, and whenever you mint something onto the blockchain, it is actually like your ownership of the thing. Which I really prefer. So whenever I create anything, it just has an underline of created by Maclin available, you know, on all of the sites that I can typically sell it on. But it kind of was generated from my identity rather than the big sites.
Well, okay.
Have you had a negative experience in the NFT space?
Yeah, for sure.
Like what?
I mean, there's always scams. There's always ways to lose money trying to invest in a coin, trying to do maybe something that's a bit risky and then having it backfire. And then the thing I purchased was worth way less than I bought it for.
Oh, I mean, I just meant like you creating art for it. I figured people have tons of bad, like just investing or like buying things.
Yeah.
But like as far as like your own personal creative, like you creating NFTs, have you had a bad experience with that?
I would say, if anything, it's just taken me a bit further away from the physical stuff I like to make.
Oh, okay.
So, and kind of the vulnerability aspect, right? So if the past 6 months I've spent building an entire ecosystem based on an NFT that's been like all logic and code based, that kind of has negatively impacted my emotional intelligence, I suppose. But not like in a bad way. So the short answer is no. I really haven't.
Oh, that's good.
I've really enjoyed it. I really think it is the future for so many different things. But I like it so far.
Do you think that we'll start like in 50, 100 years, whatever, that we will walk into like museums and stuff and it won't be physical art anymore? It'll all be like screens displaying digital art and stuff like that.
Not all of it. Definitely not all of it. Painting will always have its place. Photography will always have its place. But I definitely know that every time I finish a shoot, I pull up all the photos and I put them on a huge 4K display, and I scroll through them, and it's like the coolest thing ever to just look at my photos on a really high resolution, high brightness screen. I really love that.
Computer so bad. So bad.
Yeah, Thomas, he was like, "Is this Stephanie's computer?"
Fuck you, Thomas. Oh my gosh. Yeah, I definitely need to get that, but I'm investing in a better camera first and lenses. But yeah, oh my God.
I want to know a little bit about your app. Did you develop it yourself? Well, you said you were doing some coding.
You're talking about Exhibit, yeah?
Yeah.
I did not develop that. That was with the team. One guy I went to college with, his younger brother, who's our CEO, and a guy out of India. And it's just the coolest thing ever. It is for photographers and artists.
Cool.
So similar to a Spotify type curation platform where the goal is to provide royalty payments on viewership. So the same way a musician gets paid per listen, it's the same thing for photographers.
Wait, what?
That seems like, I don't even want to compare it to this, but it almost seems like a very classy, artistic OnlyFans, or one of those, like, not OnlyFans, but like a subscription, because it's like there's pay-per-view.
Wow.
Like,
Yeah,
people have to pay to see it, but this would be more just like, I guess, how YouTube works, or how
similar to
Spotify.
Spotify. The closest comparison is Spotify, and then actually, like, when you look at the app, it has a similar feel to a TikTok type thing. So full screen display, which is fantastic for looking at super high resolution pictures, and no data compression, so you get to see everything the way it was shot. Whereas like Instagram or Twitter kind of compresses it quite a bit. Twitter's pretty good at it, but discoverability is at an all-time high on the app, and we want to make sure that people are actually getting their art seen. And everything is kind of going video-based now on all the other platforms. So photography is still, I say photography, but in general I mean images of artwork itself. So if you scan a painting, or if you're a model, or if whatever capacity it is that you want to share your artwork in a still-based photo, that's how it is.
Wait, so I would like post your Playboy photos up there? People subscribe? Is that
Well,
what it
no,
is?
I don't even think it's people paying. Do people
It's not
pay for it?
subscription, no.
It's like, we're not paying. I mean, we are paying for Spotify, but like, artists just get paid on how many times it's listened to. Like, if we were to listen to one song 20 times, we didn't pay for those 20 times.
But in a way you did. Of course, because your subscription, you kind of do end up paying for that. So we haven't implemented a subscription strategy yet, but we do have a reserve to pay out artists, and we're making sure that it happens and trying to get a lot of adoption, because to me it's the coolest thing I've probably ever made.
Where did
I
you
wanna
get
get my
partner,
friends
I
on
should
it.
say.
That's such a cool idea. How did that idea come to you?
Oof. Well, I want to give a shout out to Suleiman, the CEO. He was a huge partner on this one, and he kind of started it all with a different video sharing platform that we just kind of kept chipping away at like a giant block of marble, and eventually it kind of turned into this more just iteration after iteration. It turned into this idea. I can't say really where it came from. I would probably say Suleiman himself, but as it's evolved, it's just become more and more like, oh, we need this, we need this, we need to make sure that everything is super high quality, all the artists are being taken care of properly and focused on and highlighted, and kind of made, like, how many musicians do you know that are huge names in the world? But how many painters do you know that are huge names in the world today?
Right. Wow.
How many photographers do you know that are a huge name in the world?
Wow, that's so true.
Yeah.
It's very niche to be in that still art format.
And it's wild to me that music and photography go so hand in hand, and video as well. Like, I get really frustrated when I hear that photographers aren't getting paid by musicians enough, and I'm like, your music's maybe great, but no one's gonna know shit about you without photography. No one's gonna know about you
The
without
visuals.
video. Yeah, no one's gonna know about your freaking show that so-and-so just photographed at. If you're like, I get
That's
really,
if you only live in the digital world, though.
yeah, but I mean, well, that's true. I mean, if you're going out to, like, but on a greater scale though.
It's big. Visuals are a big part of like marketing.
Yeah.
I mean,
Of course.
and it's always not even in like the music scene, but like that's why you see billboards and commercials. Like, visually, if you get all of your senses stimulated, like, it pushes someone even further to
Yeah,
like
that's so
purchase
true.
something or do something,
Or to believe in what you're doing, or to be a fan, and to like go with you on that. So I don't know why I said that.
It's probably just getting it off your chest. I mean, I feel for you. I know I've seen so many people, like, how many times have you done a shoot for free and not gotten paid? Or just like,
Yeah.
you kind of have to throw yourself into the fire to maybe come out on the other side and like have another job or another opportunity. The sacrifice that a lot of photographers make, a lot of artists make, is to like just put themselves out there and hope that what they do, even if it was for free, was good enough. to move on to the next level. And I think a lot of people have to start that way.
Mm-hmm.
Getting paid from the
definitely
beginning is
starting that
incredibly
way,
difficult.
Yeah.
But then once you're kind of established, and I mean, you just, unfortunately, you don't show up, you don't do the work, you don't take the cool photos.
Yeah.
So it's like,
I just
horrible
moving
trade-off.
out here, like I started to get asked to photograph music in bands and everything, or their shows. I like to photograph the promo things about them, but to do live music and learning that they don't make what I would feel like they should make, and how that's just the standard here, or really anywhere. Like they're like, oh, we don't have the budget for that or something like that. I'm like, as an artist though, you should find the budget to pay another artist. Like, instead of giving them $50 to photograph your 3-hour show, like what the hell? And so I just realized that here, that's just the normal. And if you won't do it, they'll find another person that will. And I'm like, is there gonna be a photography strike like eventually? Like, fuck. Because I'm like, you guys can't you have to have you have to have photos and videos to, like, they all work together. So I'm like, it's weird that it's just like, I don't know, but yeah. Again, I don't know why I brought that.
Get it off your chest. It's something that I think, a lot of people need to know about, because it happens all the time. So many young people, or even consummate professionals, who are getting taken advantage of because the market is so competitive. But again, that's kind of one of the problems we're trying to solve. It's, if you're not getting paid on the streets, you can maybe digitize your work and share it in a way where it is a bit more user-friendly or viewer-friendly, and people get to see your stuff, and then you are getting paid residually off of that. So if you have an old catalog, you upload that and you start earning residual income on something that you created maybe 10 years ago.
Oh yeah.
Well, yeah, I think I brought that up because that reminded me that the music industry is one of the most profiting industries, and like you said, how many musicians do you know versus how many artists and photographers? And I'm just like, I think that's crazy because they all are so necessary for each other, and so that's why I brought that up. So I remembered anyway. But yeah.
Did you bring in a poetry book? What did you bring in?
I did, but I don't want to bring it out right now.
You're not filling in the space?
I just don't like poetry, I decided.
Oh, yes.
In this moment?
Well, is this your poetry book that you're planning on releasing? And
What? Let's see it. No.
I could show you. It's
we don't
definitely
have to
not
read
done.
anything out loud.
I
I just want to physically see it and touch it.
And then, and then if you let us read something, we should.
What inspires you?
Definitely nature.
Oh, wow.
Whoa, look at
Definitely
this.
walking around.
Wait, what's
Those are my sketches for the cover art, or the spine of the book art.
Wow.
Yeah, I've been working on this. It's been like 5 years in the making of just things and thoughts I've traveled around with. There's a loose structure through it, but I was just telling my sister about this. I was walking around. I was walking around Barnes and Noble, and I realized that, first of all, it's very hard to find the poetry section.
Yeah, well.
Number one, not a lot of poetry being written these days on the mainstream. And then I started reading the stuff that's on the shelves, old stuff, new stuff, and I just don't like it. I don't know why I write poetry if I don't like to read it. There's some.
We don't listen to other podcasts.
Yeah, I mean, we don't.
It's not that we don't like. Well,
it's just like, I don't know. For some reason, it doesn't always speak to me. Of course, not everything does, but for some reason, I felt compelled to write these things. And if there's a reason why I wrote it and was willing to put down the thought and cherish that thought when I return to it, I might as well put it all together, because if I never put it out, I never put it out. So these are collected thoughts. I definitely consider them to be more thought starters than poems.
How long have you been working on this?
About 5 years, yeah.
I wish that I knew where you were on each one.
yeah.
I can kind of, I have a really strong memory.
Would you ever
especially
incorporate that in? Like,
where I was and what I was doing? Yes, but I like to keep for the most part, I try to keep my personal opinions on things out of this. This is it's not like fast
interpretation, right?
Yeah, it's not fact based by any means, but it's like, these are revelations or wisdoms that I've come across that like really resonate with me, and I feel like they might resonate with someone else. And if they're not a completed thought necessarily, they're at least something that would maybe make someone look a little bit longer at the bird that's sitting in the tree and why it's sitting on this part of the branch as opposed to that part of the branch, or why the caterpillar walking across the road is in danger, but it doesn't know it's in danger until I pick it up. But then I have to decide, do I want to put him back on the one side or do I want to take him across the other side?
Yeah.
So it's a meditative journey through my thinking about my actions and my way of seeing the world. And I if anything that I hope to do through this, it would be to inspire a different way of looking at the slow moments around. And the way I call it is the moments between breaths, or seeing between the seconds.
Wow.
So to really slow down and be within the moment.
That's so beautiful. How do you even go about getting something like this published?
Typically you work
Emailing?
with an editor, and you can self-publish. I'm considering self-publishing, but I'm not sure yet. I know you put it all together and format it and design the cover.
Do some things.
Yeah, you press some buttons, you watch a YouTube video, and then you do it. I will say that's...
Yeah.
One thing I read in one of these is it reminded me of the Banksy exhibit that I just saw, and I wanted to ask, I don't know how into Banksy you are, how do you feel about him making fun of people for buying his work when he wouldn't even have that platform or the say if people weren't doing it?
That's almost how I feel about this, a similar capacity. There's like an irony in his, everything he does is deeply ironic. You know, it's two-faced and brings these two elements together and makes them kiss, which is so powerful to really draw two different elements and put them on one side. So he's this guy that continues to make art, and for what purpose other than the fact that he wants to continue to make his art. And yeah, it's not outward facing. It's all his, I don't want to say all of his stuff is inward facing, but it's his interpretation. And because it's so deeply personal to him, it's what reflects so prominently within everyone else. And as far as him making fun of people buying his art, I'm not sure. I don't know why he would do that.
Well, the girl in the balloon and stuff, and then he created a whole painting of the people at the auction, and then another painting of them buying that painting, and it was why would anyone fucking buy this or something like that, or why would you spend all the money on this? And
it's such a great question. I mean, attention and eyeballs, and
I'm just but if people didn't, then you'd be mad again.
Maybe he's just poking fun at it.
He's definitely poking fun, but it's
just,
his quotes and things that he's said. I just wanted to know from an artist, if you thought, because walking through it, I was like, this is so annoying that you're complaining that people are enjoying and loving your art. What the hell? And so, but yeah, just
it's like a level, I guess, of privilege.
Privilege and arrogance a little bit. And I was just I'm here to enjoy this by $75 to see you just make fun of me for doing that. So I just wanted to see your opinion, but yeah.
That's a tough one. that really is, because it's, who knows?
It can go both ways.
We all have different motives
in
why we create, and sometimes selling isn't, maybe that wasn't his idea all along.
That's true.
He's a street artist.
Yeah, that's true.
Do you have any recent, should we wait for this car horn? I don't know. It's going to go away.
I don't know.
Do you have any recent lessons or thoughts that you want to share? Something that you're going through, a theme that you, yeah.
Yeah, karmic time loops.
What does that mean?
Coming back to challenges I've faced once in the past and having them arise in different faces or different places, and same scenarios, but just being tested once again on something that I don't want to say necessarily failed the challenge before, but probably should have chosen a different route. And they tend to arise in the women I come in contact with.
That's the first thing I thought about with myself. I was like,
yeah,
as fuck.
So if you don't learn and choose right, you're just destined to repeat the same path. And it's been very, very prominent lately. Definitely in the past 2 weeks. Some phone calls out of the blue. Some people I've met with very similar names and identities to other people. And
that eclipse, huh?
the eclipse, we got Mercury, we got.
Oh yeah, God.
Yeah. What do you think the lesson is, like that the universe is trying to present to you?
I think the universe is trying to tell me that somewhere around 2019, I made a series of decisions that were, I think, still good and have evolved my life in many ways, but now I'm being put in the situation where I can relive that same trajectory that I was going through, or I'm going to continue to do the same things that I'm always doing. But that was a more Hollywood world that I was in, and this time I'm trying to do what I've always been planning to do, but from my home center. So now I have, the earth underneath me, and I feel like the universe is trying to tell me that what I was doing before was right, but just do a couple things a little bit differently. That's about it.
Yeah.
I feel like that's kind of how reincarnation would. That's kind of like what you go into the next life perfecting the thing that you didn't perfect in the one previously until you have this fulfilled version of your soul or something like that. Kind of like a small snippet version.
I heard one thing the other day that was really awesome. I was just walking down the sidewalk at a park in Cleveland and overheard someone say, well, if Earth is so good, if you died, you must have come back for some reason. There must have been something you really liked here that you came back for.
Yeah.
So. I like Earth. When people are like, I want to live on another planet, I'm like, I don't really care to do that. Like, I still haven't really finished over here.
Pretty tight.
Yeah. I mean, I have and I know that people like joke and then they're like, oh, I want to get abducted by an alien, like take me. I'm like, no, you don't. Like, what are you talking about? You'd be so scared. They would probably eat you. Like, no, like we're not doing that. Anyway, again.
Yeah. I know we're going to start wrapping it up, but we totally did not touch on like your thoughts on a plant-based diet.
Oh God, I'm scared about this. Now that you've brought up a Liver King or something. I'm
definitely not Liver King. But yeah, I definitely earlier in the show I mentioned that I was like pretty much practicing Buddhist for about 4 years. A lot of meditation, a lot of Zen practices, a lot of striving for peace and spirituality, like ultimate attainment within the spiritual sense. And recently become gluten intolerant over the past couple of years, which has been a major issue for me just because I don't love to cook, so my options are limited, and to have my options super limited has become a major issue for me. So to add more options to my life and to kind of step away from that Buddhist spiritual Zen everywhere I go is peace type thing, which I still believe in. I still believe in carrying peace everywhere I go, but I've recently stopped my vegetarian/vegan diet and embraced a more wide range of foods, including meats and different things, but slowly, just something I've been curious about, to be so starved of those things, and maybe not starved is the right word, but to be so like adamantly against eating meat. And we're talking strict vegetarian for 4 years, like no faltering, no fails. Ultimately the change happened when I noticed that myself, like within my physical body, I was very weak. My spiritual sense, I felt over the moon. I could drop into a meditation and go for hours and just be truly, totally Zen, enter a flow state, and then create from that spot. But my physical, material sense, never really matched up with my spiritual attainment desires, which technically, like, if you have wants and desires, you're not living the true, true Buddhist path. My material world desires have kind of reminded me that I am on this earth to try to pursue living a comfortable and healthy lifestyle in all elements, and just back on.
I mean,
welcoming things back in. But responsibly.
I've been vegan for like 12 years, and like I've never and I'm just now gluten free as well, so it's like it's whenever I go out to eat, I'm like, I have to like warn everybody. But my boyfriend just went vegan and gluten free on March 1st out of nowhere, and he has been having the same issues of like not feeling as physically energized or whatever. And I've just come to the conclusion with him, I'm like, you aren't eating enough. Like, and I don't know if this was your thing or not, but I'm like, you can't go until 4 p.m. and eat then and then expect and then blame it on your diet. Like, you have to be eating more. Like, before he went vegan, he would always come and he's like, you're always hungry. Like, you always eat. You're eating all the time. And then now that he's doing this diet, he's like, I'm sorry for making fun of you because, like, I could eat all the time. And I'm like, yeah, it's just like a constant.
It burns quicker.
Yeah, well, and I like bringing that energy into my body, especially if it's like a healthy one. And yeah, it's definitely I'm not somebody that believes everybody should be vegan. I just think that everybody should not be eating as much meat as they're eating, because it's not even like what it's for your body at this point anymore. It's more so like planet. And like,
Right.
I feel weird when I kill a bug. And so
Same.
I'm just like, when people compartmentalize it, I just am like, I can't eat something that's didn't want to die, essentially.
Right.
So it's just, so that's where I've always been with it, but it's definitely not for everybody. So, which I think is interesting, because people argue that everybody can be vegan, and I'm like, I don't know.
Definitely different strokes for different folks.
Yeah, I'm like, I don't think so, but yeah.
Different ways to be healthy and kind of align with your personal beliefs, right?
Yeah.
And I'm same with you. I've been a long time animal lover, always have been, always will be.
Jesus.
And out in my manger out back, I have hundreds of sheep.
You saved a ton of animals too.
But
oh wait, no, that was Moses. Or wait, Noah.
No, that was Noah.
Oh my God. I'm in a church in a minute.
But yeah, I think everybody has to figure it out, and I spent a really long time trying to figure out if that was the diet for me, and it did align perfectly with my spiritual practices, and it took me to some incredible places, and it helped me meet incredible people that have shaped who I am today, and like I said, allowed me to really walk peacefully everywhere I go. And like Thich Nhat Hanh is one of my favorite authors of all time, just a Buddhist monk and philosopher, I would consider him. Just pieces every step, and finding that every step I take, I can leave flowers behind me instead of crushing and destroying the path ahead. So yeah, similar to the Dalai Lama, which is a diet similar to him, which is with vegetarians and vegans, eat vegetarian, vegan. With people who might indulge in eating meat, it's all the same.
Yeah, I can agree with that.
Well, do you have any more thoughts? I was gonna ask.
I wanted to ask about this gluten-free experience, but how did you find out that wasn't for you?
Just like couldn't breathe, always felt like I was dying. Like,
oh my God.
Just like acid reflux. I actually would have out-of-body experiences, which is where a good portion of my artwork came from for a little while.
Whoa.
It was pretty cool.
Shout
Very
out gluten.
psychedelic. I'd eat a plate of pasta and I would literally have out-of-body experiences.
Okay,
Wow.
Yeah, it's still pretty significant. I've definitely stopped eating pasta, but if I eat a plate, if I have some, I will have like I'm like really good at being gluten-free. It's awesome.
Yeah.
But like if I ever come across anything, I will have a slight out-of-body experience. And
God,
I'm
you
figuring
just,
it out.
Eat pasta and trip.
Yeah, seriously.
It'd be great.
It's not. It's not, because I'm at dinner with like my mom and my family, and I'm like
wow.
all this, not like that, but I'm like I sit there and I feel like I'm watching the entire room from above myself.
Oh,
And
wow.
it's amazing. But the wheat receptors are similar to opium, which is something I have
right.
considered with my own personal history. And I personally think that agriculture in America is pretty much going to shit, and we have to overproduce a whole bunch of garbage vegetables. That's corn, that's wheat, that's everything that's truly not organic or from small batch. And, I don't have a farm yet. So until then, I'm kind of at the mercy of the food system we have here.
I literally, I've switched to eating all organic. That's so important. But for me, I literally had the thought this morning in the shower that I had this, I don't even know what the fuck I was thinking about, but I was washing my hair and I was like, I just feel like I need to have a farm soon. Like, I was like, for some reason, I just feel like it is very important for me to learn how to make my own food right now. Like self-operating, so I don't have to rely on grocery stores and the ways of the world. Like if something were to ever happen, I want my own like functioning farm where I can survive. For some reason, I had that thought in the shower today.
It's a good thought.
Damn.
You should follow it. That's a strong. If it drilled into your head like that, like a lightning bolt, you should probably listen to it.
Yeah, I was like, where can I go to go get land soon?
Where are you
That's
from?
what I'm manifesting.
We're both from Arkansas.
Okay, there's probably a lot of land over
Oh
there.
yeah, but I'm like, do I
that's not where we wanna go.
really want to be right back
I
down
would
there?
love, yeah, that's like what I'm manifesting in the next year. So I would love land in Hawaii, and to also live. I would love to live here part time, like have a space like this where I can pop in and work, but then to have land in Hawaii and just like be tucked in.
All right, well, let's blow this podcast up, and maybe you can work with mine, and we'll get you that property.
Hey,
This
okay.
episode's the one.
Yeah, this is where it begins. But okay.
We have 3 questions, rapid fire, which take all the time you need.
Yeah, and they have
they're
nothing to
random.
do with any of this, which you probably already know what they are. But
What's your favorite way to cook or eat a potato?
Ooh, baked
Yeah, dude, a load
sweet
of
potato, baked sweet potato butter.
butter.
Salt, pepper, maybe.
That sounds so good. Damn.
Yeah, we're starving. Okay, if you could be good at any Olympic sport, summer or winter, which one would it be? Oh, you're ready for this, I feel like.
100-meter dash.
100-meter dash.
You were like, I'm going to take a moment to think about it, but I know.
No, that'd be the coolest thing ever.
Wow.
Fastest man on earth.
Okay. Yeah, okay.
Yeah, Flash.
Flash.
Okay. Would you rather smoke weed on the beach or trip psychedelics in the desert?
Ooh. Desert.
Wow.
Yeah.
Easy. That's
Yeah.
like, I mean, didn't Jesus do that?
There you go.
I don't know about the
Probably
psychedelics,
some pasta,
but he was probably hallucinating on the 40-day fast.
Someone's off burning bush.
yeah.
That was
There's so
Moses.
many things that I've like been trying to explain to my mom about the Bible. I'm like, come on, like, Mom, it's all written out right here. This isn't what.
Manna.
Yeah, like manna, like that's bread to you. Okay. Anyway, well, those are good answers. Thank you for coming on.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This is special.
What a beautiful little energy you have.
Yeah.
I'm blushing.
We're newly blessed. Yes. Where can our followers find you and everything you're doing?
Number one place on Instagram at Maclin, Maclin,
Okay.
and kind of bounce off everything from there.
Awesome.
Cool.
Okay.
Yeah, check his art out. It's really cool. Big fan of the smileys.
Yeah. Oh no, that was the first thing. I was like, that's my favorite.
Is the Exhibit app available right now?
Available to download. EXIBIT.
Download it. I'm going to tell
we'll
one of my
tag
friends
it
about
too.
it.
Yeah.
Please.
Please.
We'll link everything below. But thanks for tuning in, guys. Thanks for making it to the end, and thanks for coming on and being patient with us.
Of course. Love you, everybody.
Yeah. Well, you want to wrap this
I
up?
forgot that I have to do an outro.
You don't have to.
Okay, well, let's see. Okay, well, thank y'all first of all. But if y'all want to keep up with us, it's at Here We Go on Instagram, at Stephanie Parsley, at the Lacey Claire. You can find all of our stuff down below, and let us know what you think.
Yeah.
But on that note, I'm out of here.
Bye. Guys.